there were three receivers in the NFL draft. Wait, what the fuck did I just do? Three receivers in the NFL draft that went in the first 2 days that were grossly overpicked. Okay, grossly is not the word, but they were overdrafted. Um, and two of their fantasy stocks, I guess the market hasn't caught up to where they were drafted at, right? Because draft capital is a very, very, very large part of evaluation. Um, and we study these prospects for months and months and months, and we have all these preconceived notions and biases coming in. And then once draft capital comes in, sometimes we don't adjust to where these players were picked at. Draft capital is the single most predictive thing ever. It's better than production alone. It's better than athleticism alone. It's the best thing ever. So when someone goes in the first 2 rounds, and their stock doesn't go up from where we thought it would go, we have a problem. And well, the players that I'm talking about are Tutu Atwell, Kadarius Toney, and Dwayne Eskridge. Now Dwayne Eskridge seemed to go up a little bit, but Tutu and Toney haven't really caught up to their draft capital. So I was very early to say, hey, Devontae Smith is too small. Team BMI, woo, sweet, right? And that's not cool. But BMI is only one thing. I mean, it's just a thing, and like I know I'm talking out of both sides of my ass, but like it's not the only thing that matters. If you're very 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 productive in the NFL, or in college, that outweighs your BMI, and like you're picking nits at the top, and that's why I was down on Devontae Smith, because that was a very big nit to pick. But everybody that was touting Devontae Smith should have been touting Tutu Atwell as well, because this guy's production is insane. So to start, Jalen Smith has spent time in the NFL, and Des Fitzpatrick was a fourth round pick this year. Okay, but that is his main competition that you'll see when we get here, right? So what was I saying? Okay, so he was pretty athletic out of high school, but that doesn't matter. That's just really old data, right? As a 19-year-old freshman, he's essentially the same player as Des Fitzpatrick, who's a 21-year-old sophomore. Tutu did this in 11 games, I believe, and Des did this in 12. So he's essentially the same player as Des Fitzpatrick as a freshman when Fitzpatrick was 2 years older than him, right? And Jalen Smith is better, but marginally, right? So Tutu comes in, breaks out as a freshman, very solid. As a sophomore, though, he leads the team in receiving. He, well, first of all, he rushed the ball a little bit, and he had a couple of special teams yards, and he put up this stat line as a receiver, which is fucking absurd, right? He essentially outproduces receivers 2 through 4 combined in receiving yards, right? He matched that total, as well as proving his dynamism here, right? And this is an NFL player, as is this, but this is a high caliber NFL player that he's outproducing as a sophomore. And at this point, Fitzpatrick is 22. He's an old fucking man, all right? As a junior, he's essentially the same player as Fitzpatrick on a game per game basis, but he beats him in touchdowns. So you can twist an arm and say he was better than Des Fitzpatrick on a per game basis as a junior. And once again, Des Fitzpatrick was a 23-year-old senior here. So yeah, and nobody outproduces, and nobody else goes over 400 yards. So it is a two-person offense, passing attack wise, and he's kind of the shit, right? So all in all, his dominator is pretty elite. His breakout age is very elite, and he outproduces fringe NFL talent regularly, and outproduces Des Fitzpatrick damn near every year, and blows him away one year, and Fitzpatrick goes in the fourth round, right? So, given that he is indeed 5'9", 155, this production comes at a little bit of a discount, but still, Tutu Atwell ends up getting day 2 draft capital, round 2 draft capital, and his stock in fantasy has not gone up nor down. It's just kind of stayed there. I actually got Tutu Atwell here. Let me look. I gotta see what pick it was exactly. Let's see. Des Fitzpatrick. I believe I got Tutu Atwell 2 picks before Des Fitzpatrick at like pick 40 something, right? And that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous because Tutu Atwell is an elite producer. At a young age, he was a very elite producer. As a catch-all dominator, he was a very elite producer. He outproduced NFL talent regularly, and as a sophomore, he put up a historic season, outproducing his entire team combined essentially with just him, and being dynamic with rushing yards, which he also got in these two seasons as well. But he's just the whole package besides size. He gets draft capital. I don't get what we're missing here, right? I mean, like I can understand being lower on him and saying, "Hey, I'll take Dwayne Eskridge over him. I'll take Josh Palmer. I mean, he has size, right? But Tutu's profile, size aside, is very, very, very good. He's not like a Jalen Darden or a K Johnson who didn't get draft capital. He got round 2 draft capital rather, and his size isn't good at all, but he got round 2 draft capital. And every single time, you should bank on production and draft capital over size, right? Like size is a big thing that I use a lot in my analysis, but it's not everything. Production is more important than size. So is draft capital. So if a guy checks 2 of those boxes, and Tutu is also very very athletic. I believe he ran a 4.4, low 4.4s. He's not slow. Like if he was not athletic, and he was small, like I could get it. But he's athletic, he's productive, and he got draft capital. He's going too low as a second round pick. There's guys like Anthony Schwartz going over him, Diami Brown, and like they're defensible picks, I guess, but it's just ludicrous to draft like a Des Fitzpatrick over him. He's his fucking teammate. Like, I mean, come on. And he was worse than him. Josh Palmer, I wouldn't take over him. I mean, even though I've seen him go over, like just guys like that who weren't productive, aren't particularly athletic, and got worse draft capital. Tutu's undervalued. So is Kadarius Toney, and so is Dwayne Eskridge for where he went. Honestly, so go ahead and draft Tutu in the 3rd round, because you bank on draft capital once you get to that point. I mean, you're out here throwing darts. Why not bank on the guy that was really productive at a young age and had a monster season as a 20-year-old, beating out NFL talent with draft capital? Go do it. I mean, come on. It's a good pick. And yes, I am indeed defending my pick in the rookie draft. Thank you for watching.